Round 14, NRL Fantasy is in the books, and I feel like I'm saying this every week, but it was another week of highs and lows. So some very, very big scores and some very surprising disappointments for us fantasy coaches. Now, we're going to jump right into it here with the first game of the week, and Tigers were up 14-12 in this game, and they went down 56-14. So there's our first surprise of the week. Obviously, Zach Lomax is a big beneficiary here. So 3 tries for him, 10 goals. He had a bunch of tackle breaks. He was just doing whatever he wanted this game, nearly 200 meters run, 103 fantasy points. That is unmatched. That's our top scorer of the week, actually. Ben Hunt came out with 69 points. It's a nice score. He had the try as well, so that's rock solid. Luciano, 2 tries, 68 points. He's a guy I had my eyes on at that price, but he's probably going to be too expensive now for me to really consider him. Eisenhuth for the faithful, pumped out a 61-point game. He's awesome there. We had Alex Seyfarth play nearly 80 minutes, score a try, get 59 points. Again, if you got on him, 400K, he will be mid and edge eligible eventually as well. That's a rock solid option there for you too. Down the list here, Little, 50 solid, Twile with 49. Apparently a bit of an injury, I've heard. Samuel Afinu as well. He had the 49-point game. Coruscant, 48. We had Sullivan. He's out for 2 to 4 weeks, I'm hearing, so 46 points, but unfortunately he'll be out for a bit. Itoka Manu, a lot of contract talk about him. 44 points is solid enough, but if you bought him, you were hoping for a bit more than that. Buller bounced back. We had Jack DeBellin come with 36 points. That was a hard one to swallow for myself. Lockie Galvin, 33 points, and going across the stat sheet, it was just a less eventful game for him. So only 56 kick meters, no attacking stats, 33 points. It's about his base there. And then down the list here, Manamua, 29. Then, no one else super noteworthy to talk about here. Jaden Sewer, if you had him, 10 points backing up in 40 minutes. It's not great for the minutes front or the PPM front there too. But he was coming out of Origin, so I would think that's a bit of a one-off. Next game here, we've got the Titans and the Bunnies. And for this game, Latrell Mitchell showed up big. If you're looking for Latrell this week, you had a game where he had 3 try assists. He had the try. He had a bunch of goals kicked as well. He was running rampant all over this game, right? So for Latrell, if you captain him, 99 points is awesome. The downside there is that he played well enough to get into the Origin team, in my view. So I think he's going to get picked for game 2, and he'll mess around 16 and 17 when that happens. Saying that, the big score was worth it. So good shot, whoever got on him. Cleese Haas, 68 points. Big score for him when he starts in the back row. He's very good there as well. Dave Fafita saved the day with a 63-point game with that late try. That was the big thing there. We were watching him thinking, oh no, we're going to get 35 points out of our captain this week. And he pumped out a 63 right at the end there. Davey Moale, sort of showing what he can do. He's been a solid prospect and a guy I've liked for quite a while. But 58 points there is one of his better fantasy games. Jack Whiten came in 57. Again, saved the day late. He was at half that score as well. Heading into the end of the weekend, had a try assist and offload, all that sort of thing, running it right down to the final minute there with a big score. Jaden Campbell came back from injury, scored 57, coming in at the 6 jersey. That's a guy we could eye off because the Titans do have really good buys. Actually, Bunnies do as well. Cody Walker, 56 points. That was a big game for him. Kaloa Matangi, 47. A bit disappointing from the fantasy front, but a great output for his general work rate. And down the list here, no one else super noteworthy to talk about. Bahulu got 33, which is solid. Arrow, 32, a bit less than you were expecting if you bought him. And Johnson, 9 points for Johnson if you did get on him, which hopefully not too many people did. All right, next game here, we got the Cowboys and the Warriors. And Fanua Blake, back to form, 68 points here, got the try. He's a guy who you can trust through this Origin period. If you have some cash to spend, I don't mind going and buying Fanua Blake. Tamari Martin, his last 3-round average is like 61 points. He's on fire since Sean Johnson's been out. It will stop now that Sean is coming back this week, so don't buy into that. Barnett was very good. Nick Klokstad, very good as well. Finafuaki has turned it around. Lukey, solid as well. Cotter backed up well, 64 minutes, 44 points. Tohu Harris, only 42 and 49 minutes. Not as good as we were hoping for. And then down the list here, no one too crazy to talk about. McKaylee, 31 points after his disaster in the bye round, but you probably got off him already. And then the rest of the list here is pretty uneventful, so we're going to skim past it and jump into the next game here. Now, this was a bit of a cracker. Sharks versus the Broncos. Both teams missing some primary playmakers. So Reynolds, Walsh, Hines, all out of this game. We were led by a lot more of the ball-running edges and the forwards in this game. So Paddy Carrigan's the first one here. 68 points in 70 minutes. Scored a try in this game too, and that was his 3rd try of his career, which That's pretty crazy when you think about Pat Carrigan's career and how good he is as a football player. So yeah, 68 points. He turned up, backing up from Origin. Talakai, 67 points in this game. He started in the back row and he played big minutes as well. If he plays back row long term, he's a guy you could actually look at as a buy option, especially at that price. So he'll probably get up to, let's see the break even. So 43-point break even. You're probably looking at a rise of about 30K sort of thing, let's say. So maybe he's about 400K. If he starts in the back row for a long time, depending on Teague Wilton's injury, then he could be an option we look at as well. In fact, I will add him to my watch list right now. Payne Haas, 56 is all right. Nakora back to form of 55. Going down the list, Piakura turned it up with 49 points. That was a rock solid performance from him, and we're very happy with that one. I mean, I'm not. I sold him. But if you had him, you're stoked. Dan Atkinson, 39 points. Pretty solid from him. He's been really reliable while Hines has been out. Iro, 39 points as well. Going down the list here, no one's super noteworthy down the bottom of the list. Some outside backs we could have looked at, but yeah, Tristan Saylor, 17 points. Not quite at the standard you'd want if you did buy him. I don't think many people did. Next game here, cracker of a game actually, this one. So Storm versus Knights. And this had, I think it had 3 players in the top 10 scorers of this week, 4 players in top 10 scorers this week, which is the 4 we're going to look at right here. So Wishart first, he got 86 points. He had the 2 tries in this game, 120 run meters. He was all over the place. He had a try saver and a forced turnover as well. So he produced some defensive stats, which for Wishart is, he's a solid defender, but you don't normally count on that from your half/wing fullback, do you? Jerome Hughes came up big here too, so also had the try, 76 points. These two in the halves just absolutely dominated in this game, and that was a great one for people who did buy Jerome Hughes. Dane Gagai grabbed a couple of line breaks, a try. His base stats are so good that he normally hits about 45 without really doing anything too crazy in a game. He then add the try in, 73 points, well within the realm of possibilities for Gagai. Dylan Lucas grabbed 2 first half tries, got 72 points. Enough said, he was on fire. Meany in form, Leo Thompson sort of showing us what he can do here too. Then going down the list, Fire Longo. So he got 10 points from goal kicking. He was a really good player in this game. Eight tackle breaks as well. What the run meters like 188 run meters. Yeah, so a really good base game from him if you have him. Then we got Fletcher Sharp. He came in, got 49 points. If he holds that spot, he's at a very good price. And I'll probably look at him after the round 16 buy. I'm willing to take another week and really see him play. But if you want to get onto him next week, it's an option you could look at as well. Eli Katoa got 43, Kai Pierce-Paul 46. We got Bloor at 41. All those back rowers were scoring around, on the bottom end of what you'd expect from them. Harry Grant got 38 points in 58 minutes. Again, it's a bit meh. Going to the list here, Frizzell, 22. He's going to get cheap at some point, and at some point we'll be looking at buying Frizzell. Jaden Brayley got benched for this game, played 31 minutes, scored 21 points. That's a bit of a disaster for Brayley owners. We'll see what happens next week with the team list, but if he's on the bench again, I'm not that interested in keeping him. And then, Greg Marzu, 18 points. Not ideal if you got on the Marzu Express. Now, big game here. Panthers and the Seagulls. This was a close one, but Penrith ran away with it right at the end. We had Brian Toe, the second highest scorer of the week. He got 100 points, 13 tackle breaks, 200 run meters, 3 tries. He just did whatever he wanted in this game as a ball runner. He had 4 line breaks as well. So, Brian Toe, when he gets the ball like that, he's unstoppable. The big man, Tommy Talau, 75 points, another hat trick in this game. He scored their first 3 tries as well. And his average is up to 35 points, which he's basically doubled his average from previous years in this Manly side. And they're feeding him a ton of good ball. I'll throw him onto the watch list as well because Manly do have a good buy schedule. Down the list here, Dane Laurie, 70 points. When he fills in, he can do a good job. Isaiah Yeo, 61 points. Ever reliable. This guy just never stops motoring, does he? Jerome Luai, 60 points. He's been informed. Cole, 59 points as well. Rolling down the list here, we got Garrick, scored 51 in that game. That was a tough game for him, but he clutched up at the end. Ben Trebojevic, 53 points. Back-to-back 50-plus scores. Do we look at Burbo again? Break-even was 11, so he's going to go up in price quite a bit. But do we look at Burbo again is the question. I don't have the answer yet, but it might be one we consider. Down the list here, Mitch Kenny, back to some form, 51 points. Luke Brooks, 39, was solid enough. Sorensen, 37. You hope for a bit better from him. Then we've got, no one too crazy. Tungo, 28 points. You want a bit more from him, but at the same time, that break-even is 49, so he's going to get even cheaper. He'll get into the 400s. He might get to about 450, 420 even over the coming weeks, which that's a pretty good price point touch him on. Even if it's about 400K, that would be one of the bargains of the century. Olakwatu copped an injury in this game. He only scored 12 points, which is a bit of a tough one to swallow. We also have Kohler, who had a really quiet game. 11 points with try assist is not what you hope for from him. We were hoping he'd be a rock we could rely on at the fullback slot. He's gone back to center, and he had a very quiet game in this one. The doggies in Parramatta rounded out this one, and as a Para fan, it was a tough one to watch. But look, bravo doggies! They're on the rise here right now, and yeah, Stephen Crichton was a big a big point of this game. So had 2 tries. He had the try assist. He had a couple of line breaks. He was all over the place. 71 points, probably his best score of the year. He started off a bit quiet at the Dogs in terms of fantasy scores, was producing some good real life performances, but fantasy is starting to catch up now. If you like him, it's a good price, but the Dogs do have a bye next week, obviously, and then he plays Origin the week after, so you're going to have to wait about a fortnight before you make this move. Down the list here, Blake Wilson did what we know he's capable of doing. 9 tackle breaks, scored 2 tries, 68 points. Connor Tracy absolutely carved up in this game. Reed Marnie, 55 points on 57 tackles. Yeah, just a massive work rate. Preston, he copped an injury in this one, which is tough, but 51 points is a really good score. Fingers crossed that he comes through that well because, he's such a good player and you just want to see him out there for the Dogs. Kurt Mann, he got the sin bin, still got 48 points, which is awesome. Kelma Tuolangi grabbed the try, saved his score with 47 points. If you got him, keep making that cash. That's the big thing there. You'll enjoy that score. Penasini, 45. Blaze Talangi, 45. Matt Burton, 44. Carraz got 43 without too many attacking stats, which is pretty impressive. Max King, 39 points in 56 minutes. It's not an ideal performance from a guy a lot of us bought, so I'm not super stoked about that, to be honest. Mitch Moses and Dylan Brown, both 36 points, which, again, not a great score in a game where they looked pretty good in real life. So Moses started this game super hot. Dylan Brown had his moments, but just quiet games for fantasy. Brandon Hands played 70 minutes, only converted it to 33 points. Again, Lussick being on the bench, that does hurt him. I, at the last minute, reversed my trade with Lussick being moved up into the 17. I got on Reed Money instead, just to cover that round 16 spot. Down the bottom of the list, we got Hopgood, 34 minutes, 24 points. It's unpredictable when guys put back up from Origin. And this is one of those ones where it turned out badly for Hopgood owners. Down the bottom of the list, no one's super crazy to talk about here. So that'll round us out here. Hopefully it was a good week for you. That's our recap of this week. We'll talk more about trades coming up as well. Look, I'm going to say my early prediction is there aren't going to be too many trades made this week. I think Jaden Brayley could be a problem if he's on the bench again. But other than that, if you have Preston, you might want to sell him too. But other than a few players, I think most coaches will be preserving trades this week and saving them for next week. Best luck this week. I'll see you on Buy, Hold, Sell. I'll see you on NRL.com. I'll see you everywhere because we love talking about fantasy. See you guys.